Welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day. The markets are down today. So let's take a look. Everything is in the red across the board. The S&P finished down 78.18, 1.72%. The Dow finished down 1.24%, and the NASDAQ down 2% today as tech stocks took quite a hit. And the concern is the inflation report coming out tomorrow, CPI. All expectations is it's going to be through the roof. So with the Fed speak that we've heard lately, with the Fed coming out very aggressive concerning interest rate policy and pulling back and liquidating the balance sheet, that has investors worried about what is going to happen in the future. So let's take a look at the charts right now on Bitcoin. This is the hourly right here that we're looking at. And we've been tracking Bitcoin since up in this area about $48,000 when, we were looking at retracement of this whole recent move here when Bitcoin bounced from 37,000. And I was looking at a 20% reduction in Bitcoin. So far, it's about 17%. So we're getting close. So I made a video a couple of weeks ago back here when Bitcoin peaked at 48,000 and said I was looking for a 20% pullback in Bitcoin and a 10% pullback in markets. And why did I say that? Because as I said back up here, that the Fed action was not priced into the market yet because the Fed hadn't actually done anything yet. And the Fed is going to take action at their next meeting. They're going to raise interest rates at least a half a point. They could go out a little bit more aggressive. They're going to start reducing the balance sheet. They have to get inflation under control because inflation is the biggest risk to the economy right now. And also we are looking at potential escalation of the war. And we have the China lockdowns going on, which is continuing to add to the supply chain issues. So a lot of inflationary concerns out there. So a lot of attention is on this $40,000 level right now. Bitcoin's been bouncing on that $39,000, $40,000 level, broke below just a little bit a minute ago into that 39.9. So we'll have to see if $40,000 is going to hold. And this is the trend that we've been kind of tracking right here. And Bitcoin is flirting with support right now on this major trend line that we've been tracking at the bottom of the range. And of course, the top of this channel right here. So the question is, what is going to be the next move? So we'll have to wait and see. We talked about this last week in the last video that it was definitely going to check this trend line here. We'll have to see if this trend line is going to hold. And that is coming in right now at about 39,000. So we're just about, just around 39.4, 39.5, depending on when it hits that. So then if price holds there, then you could look for this kind of a little action right here where it kind of works its way in this channel for a little while until ultimately deciding which direction it's going to go. So that's kind of what we're tracking right there on this trend line. We are very close to seeing whether or not that major support is going to hold. And that's major structural support all the way across the region, that 41,000 back in January of 2021. That was a resistance level that ultimately failed. And then price bounced. It became support right here. And then it was support here before it became resistance over here back in June, July. Then it was support right in this area last year, September, and had support right here earlier this year in January. And it's been kind of support and resistance all the way through at that $40,000 level. So we just have to wait and see what happens. And also the other thing that we've been tracking are the moving averages. I had it set wrong on my last video. I had this 50-day set to the 20-day because I was looking at something else, but price is below all moving averages right now. And if we look at it on the weekly, what I was tracking was this action right here when price, when that 20-week breaks below the 50-week, every time that happens, the price moves down to that 200-week moving average, which depending on when that happens is coming in around that $24,000 range that we've been talking about. So you can see the last time the 50 crossed below the 100, the price had already reached that 200-day moving average. And then, of course, the pandemic was an outlier. First time it happened was back here in 2014. Price broke below, 50 broke below the 100, went down and checked the 200. 2017, same thing. So we'll have to see if it is going to happen this time. And then, of course, we're also tracking the Gaussian channel on the weekly, and Bitcoin is now well below the midline of the Gaussian channel on the weekly. Every time it pops up above it and goes back down, it goes down to check the lower level of the Gaussian channel. Again, that's coming in right now at about 33,000. And if that breaks, then it traditionally and typically will go below it there. And you can see back here, the last time was again after the 2017. And this is the area that I kind of think we're tracking here after the 2017, 2018 peak and bear market. I kind of feel like current price action is in this range right here, kind of like it was July of 2018, where it popped up above the midline and then dropped back down. So I kind of feel like that's where price is right now, where it could go down, check the bottom line of that channel and potentially go below it. So let's pull off of that and take a look real quick. That was on the weekly. Let's look at the daily here. And if you look at price action where we're at right now, I feel like is very consistent with this price action right in here, this area of, like I said, July 2018, September 2018, in that area where there were some major bounces as price continued to work its way down to an ultimate capitulation. So what we have not seen yet is we haven't seen a big capitulation event like we've seen in the past. These are just drops, just traditional, peaks and rallies that you see normal to the market. We have not seen a big capitulation like we saw in March of 2020 right here, where you have a big 20-30% drop all at one time. That was a 63% drop back then. And then, of course, 2017, this final capitulation here came in at about, let's see what that was right there, right around 50%. So if there were a potential drop like that in this area here that we're working on now, let's say this does the trick and drops in that area of about 50% or so, that puts it around that $23,000, $24,000 range that we were looking at with this wedge breakdown, the Gaussian channel, and the moving averages. And again, this is your daily Gaussian channel right here. And you can see when price gets down below the midline of that Gaussian, it tends to go down and break below it on the daily. So let's take a look at the moving averages again. And price is well below all moving averages now on the daily as well as the weekly time frame. So we'll have to just kind of wait and see how price continues to react to losing the bottom of that trend line that we were checking. So I will post another video tomorrow, kind of updating. I'm expecting further downside tomorrow, especially at the open with the CPI information coming out, the Fed response to it. And then we might be able to see a little relief rally once the market digests and prices in the next inflation print, severe and quick action from the Fed to try to fight off inflation. So these are the things I'm looking at, and I'll see you in the next video.